Welcome to my IELTS Power Program for Band 8. But interestingly, today I'll be teaching you Band 9 strategies for listening. Listening in IELTS is your first testing that is done during the exam. So when you go, the first exam will be listening. Listening is for half an hour and it has 4 sections. Each section has definitive competencies that are measured, and each section is differently designed. So understanding how each section is differently designed and what is expected is extremely important for you to have a complete, full, comprehensible understanding of this module. Today, my focus is going to be on listening section 1 and listening section 2. And I will be teaching you for both the sections strategies for Band 9. Now, before we start talking about what section 1 and section 2 contains, I want to share with you the very common challenges that students have in listening. If you are sitting at an intermediate English level, then you need to know the challenges, the difficulties that you have in listening so that you can improve upon your listening comprehension with the level of English that you have. But if you are sitting at a lower level, foundation level of English, then probably we will have to work on listening to different accents, building up our vocabulary, understanding the context of the listening. So those are basically very important elements if you are at foundation level of English. So this section, today's class is primarily based on the level if the student has intermediate level of 5, even 4s. If you have band 4 or band 5 and you want to enhance it to 6, 7, or 8, and even up till 9. So this today's session will help people with, band 4, 5. So first, let's start talking about the listening challenges that students have. And here is a list of challenges that students have in listening. So the first challenge is managing time. So there are 3 skills that happen in listening test. One is that you are listening to an oral text. Second is that you are reading that is given in the exam on the paper or on the computer. And third is you are writing what is the correct answer for that specific question. So basically, there are 3 skills that are running at the same time, and I will be helping you how to manage time for reading, listening, and writing. And the second listening challenge is you cannot focus properly throughout the audio. I strongly recommend my students to understand what I'm trying to say is that each section's understanding will help you to stay focused throughout the audio. So you know section 1, and then you are ready to listen to that. And similar things go for section 2, section 3, and section 4. So today's session will help you to stay focused throughout because you will have a great understanding, complete understanding, thorough understanding of each section. Many times students have reported that lengthy MCQs are very, very difficult for us to handle because the options are very lengthy and the audio is running and we are reading all those 3 lengthy sentences and we are not able to find. So today I will be giving you strategies for question types also, specific question types. Then there are trouble with locating keywords, and this is a very important skill that you have to build up, that 30 seconds or sometimes 30 to 40 seconds that you have before the audio starts running, and how would we be locating the keywords so that we are listening to address those keywords, questions related with those keywords. Section 2 primarily deals with map reading. So there will be a map given to you. And answering the map question is a very, very huge challenge for probably all of the students. So I will be giving you 6 specific strategies for map reading, and that will help you to get all the answers correct. I guarantee if you listen and if you follow what I teach you. Then the spelling of the answers. Yeah, sometimes your answers are correct, but the spelling is wrong. And we will talk about that also in the end of the session, that what are the various spellings that we make mistakes and how we are going to handle, which also includes the use of S, because there is a probability that there will be 3 to 4 questions that require you to write S. So how to identify that mistake? Then many students have reported that accent is a problem. They are not used to listening to that accent, although they have great language skills. Yes, it is. It can be a challenge. So for that, there are many tons of resources online available where you can use YouTube, you can watch cartoons to begin with. And when you are using YouTube, always put there on the YouTube intermediate ESL listening. So listen to the videos, keep listening 20 minutes every day. That will help you to build up your listening skills for specific kind of accent. It is very, very helpful. So give training to your ears so that you can start to understand what different people, people with different types of accent are articulating. Another thing that students have reported is that if their one question gets missed, they lose the full focus. Yes, it happens. And I will be talking about these strategies also. And the good news is that use of articles a, and the, as an ESL student, second language learners, the good news is that whether you write a and the or you miss writing a and the, your score is not deducted. You are not penalized, even if you write the wrong ones. So that is the good news for all the students. Now let's talk about certain challenges that you have in listening, not because your English language is low, not because that you do not otherwise listen in English, but because you have certain challenges in your mind, in your heart, within yourself. And those challenges are that your brain is lost somewhere else. Maybe you are nervous, maybe you have anxiety, maybe you are confused. So these are the real things. And in listening, they play a very negative role if you have any one of these. So how do we handle these things? There are strategies to overcome nervousness, anxiety, and your confusion. So if you have anxiety, nervousness, or you are confused, there are definitely some power tips I'm going to give you in my power program. And I call it as listening management. So you need to manage your listening. Very important. If you have reasonable, good English level, let's learn how to manage our listening. So number one point that you should be doing is be flat in your emotions and feelings. That's it. Be flat in your emotions. So what does it mean? It means that if you get your any answer correct, don't start celebrating that, I got it correct. I'm happy. I got it. Don't be happy. You said, okay, I got the answer correct. Let me move on to the next listening. And if you don't get the answer correct, don't keep thinking, oh, what was being said in the audio? Let me think, oh, they were talking about this thing. Let me think. And by that time, you get nervous and you lose what the other person is saying in the listening for the next maybe 5 to 6 seconds. So there should be no excitement, no nervousness, no anxiety. Just listen piece by piece, one by one, and keep listening. Now let's understand listening, part 1 and part 2, or section 1 and section 2. Now let's understand listening, section 1 and section 2, part 1 and part 2. Both sections, section 1 and 2, are having a context of society, social, public, people. So what does that mean? That means section 1 listening will be something that people deal on daily basis in their everyday lives. So it is not academic. So you will not listen to any conversation that happens in a workplace or in an academic setup. And section 1 is a social context with public inquiry. So this is like, students who come to me in person to attend the sessions, they call me and they inquire. They inquire about various things. So put yourself into a situation where you're calling an IELTS coaching center, and what questions are you going to ask? So if you're calling me, wanted to know about my power program, what questions are you going to ask me? I give you 5 seconds to think about it. Yes. So the questions would be, when is the program? What is the schedule? When does it start? Who will be the instructor? Where are you located? What is your email address? What is the cost of the course? Who will be your instructor? So basically, primarily, I've already told you the exam. So there will be a dialogue where one person is inquiring the other person something very similar to joining a course, attending an event, a social event, and you are calling or you are in person asking those questions. So the delivery will be done in the form of a dialogue. There will be two persons, one female voice and one male voice, and one will be the receptionist or the front-end person providing you the information, and one will be a member of society, a public. Let's take an example. As I gave you earlier also, the example can be inquiry about a course, about attending a concert, and all the answers for this question will be based on a fact. So now we will be working only on section 1 with more details. So look at this, that first section is going to be inquiry, and it is a dialogue. And what are the inquiry questions? Most commonly asked inquiry questions for attending a concert or attending a community program or attending any classes would be, what are the timings? And it is a fact that the timings would be 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. as I have written here. And look at how you can write the answer for timings. You must put two columns here, and PM can be written like this, 5 p.m. in words, or 5 p.m. as a combination of a figure and a word. So all these formats are correct formats. So many times students are not able to, they are confused. Should we put 5 like FIVE in words, 2, 8 like EIGHT, 8, and 30 THIRTY. So all these formats are correct. The next question will be, what is the schedule? Something similar. So you get to have your spellings for the days of the week and the days and the months of the year very correct. So you will get one question which is asking about the schedule of the days. Maybe then what date of the course starts. And these are the different various formats that you can use to write your date. If they say, what is the age range of students? So it's 18 and above. What is the fee? So fee is written like this, but here I have highlighted the dollar sign or the pound sign. So if the dollar sign is already written there, you are not going to rewrite that. It's very important. Okay? Then when you're transferring your answer, you're just writing 675 plus 50. Now, how can I register? That can be another question. Yes. How long is the course? 5 weeks, 10 sessions, 11 sessions, 15 sessions, whatever the answer is. So then this S I have highlighted in red color because students get just lost or don't pay attention. I think it's students don't pay attention of writing S because it is plural, 5 weeks, 10 sessions, 11 sessions, and you miss writing S and then your answer goes wrong. You have to be very attentive here. Then you will ask what material do you provide or something similar, and then the address. So the address has to be like this, and make sure you do not write kilometers like this, and kilometers will be like this. And at the same time, they may ask you who is the instructor and the name. You will get one question with the name. Before we start listening to the audio, what are the things that we need to consider for section 1? When they play an audio, they give you some time to look at the questions. And these are the things that you will be taking care of. So first is that all the questions in section 1 are fill in the blanks. And in fill in the blanks, the question numbers are written not at the beginning of the question, but in the middle where the fill in the blank is. So circle the question number. Very important, because sometimes the question is what time the class starts. And it is question number 5. And it says at 5 p.m. So students get confused that 5 is already written there. Should we write only p.m. or should we write 5 again? So basically that was question number 5, not the answer 5. So circle the question number and write down separately 5 p.m. Then annotate your question. So each question is there. Annotate means highlight the keyword. And as we have mentioned in the earlier slide, that questions will be, what are the timings? Who is the instructor? Where is the location? When the class starts? What is the schedule? So the word schedule, the time start, the professor's name, those are the words to be underlined or circled, and you will be listening for those underlined words. Another very, very important part in section 1 is that there is something called as U-turn. So when I'm talking to you, or you are talking to somebody, and when during the course of talking, we make a mistake and we realize that it is a mistake, and then we say, oh, I'm sorry, this is not what I wanted to say. I wanted to say that. This is called as a U-turn in speaking. So this is a very normal, everyday conversation, and these things can happen. So in section 1, you will see 2 to 3 U-turns. For example, if you call me for my power program and I tell you, okay, well, the classes run on Monday morning, Tuesday morning, and Wednesday morning. And later on, I realized that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday morning, these classes are for self-pip power classes, not IELTS power classes. And then I would say, oh, I'm sorry, that schedule that I mentioned before was for self-pip classes and not IELTS classes. So kindly note that these classes are not for IELTS. So what did I do? I took a U-turn. So as you are listening, you are writing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday morning, but the answer is wrong. And what happened is you are now, the speaker is changing and you are now confused. You start, feeling nervous that what is happening, and then you lose the continuity of your listening. So when you get an answer in section 1, and for that matter, in any section, when you get the answer, continue to listen. Keep listening, even if you get the correct answer, because in section 1, there is a possibility in 2 to 3 questions that the speaker will take U-turn in the information that is being delivered before, and then there will be a correction in the information. So if you get the correct answer and you get happy and you pass the correction of the information in the U-turn, you will miss the answer. Or you get the wrong on your answer and you are very nervous and you miss the next question. So continue to listen, continue to listen. It is very, very important. Don't get exhausted. Don't get excited. Don't see that it's a final answer. Continue to listen. So keep listening, even if you get the correct answer or even if you miss your answer. That is the key to listening. Another important factor is to understand the instructions that are given for section 1 question. So the instructions would be write no more than one word and or a number. And your answers will be either of these 3. Now look at what are the possibilities when it says no more than one word and or a number. So possibility 1 can be only one word. For example, you are filling in the blank with writing pencils. It is a word. Possibility 2 can be write one number, for example, time. And AM, PM is already given. So you're writing a number, 7:30. So it is considered as one number. Okay, it is not considered as two numbers or three numbers. It is considered as one number. And the third possibility can be one word and one number. So it would be like 5 people. So 5 is a number and people is a word. So pay attention to these 3 possibilities to follow the instructions of section 1 of listening. Now let's have a recap of listening section 1. Number 1, listening section 1 is about an inquiry in a public setting. Number 2, all the questions that will be asked are mostly based on what, where, when, who. And the answers are fact-based. Number 3, there will be 2 to 3 U-turns in their dialogue, and you have to continue to listen back. Number 4, there is a possibility of having 2 to 3 answers which end with S, so you must pay attention to the singular and plurals. Number 5, the instructions. When the instructions are, you can write one word and or a number. There are 3 possibilities that you have learned in this section. Thank you very much. I hope you learned a lot and you enjoyed listening to that. See you in section 2. Now let's understand section 2 of listening. It's a very unique section, and it has some let's now learn understanding section 2. It is very unique in terms of that it has social context, again, social context, and it is information based. In section 1, you were inquiring for the information, but in section 2, the information is being delivered, and it is the mode of delivery is it is a monologue. Only one person speaks. So the one person that speaks gives the information step by step, one by one, one by one. So there is no second person asking about the information. So it is a monologue. And what are the examples of monologue? Usually you might listen to a tourist guide giving you information about maybe there is a museum and the tourist guide is giving you the information about maybe the layout, the topography of the whole museum, or maybe piece by piece. So it is a tourist guide. There's a high chances that you will get a monologue delivered by a tourist guide providing you information. Or there can be a coordinator or team lead giving information to the members of the team of a project that you are going to do. So there will be a group of people who will be listening silently to this monologue delivered by either the group lead or the coordinator or something similar, and giving the information of the project, at what comes first, what comes later, and what afterwards, something similar. So basically, there are 2 types of content will be there, a tourist guide or a project, running project, and coordinator talking in detail and providing the information. Next thing is we need to understand the question types in section 2. So in section 2, definitely there are 2 types of questions, which are MCQs and match the heading. MCQs means multiple choice questions, and match the headings will be, there will be given some headings and there will be some labels. I will explain them in the, and this. Now let's look at understanding the question types in section 2. Definitely in section 2, you will get 2 types of questions. One is multiple choice questions. In short, we call them MCQs. And the second type of questions will be match the heading. And I will be explaining how to handle these 2 types of questions separately with distinct skills and competencies and information that you require. Now let's understand multiple choice questions, in short, MCQs. So the type of question is MCQs, and usually in this section, there are short MCQs. The sentences given in the choices, multiple choices like A, B, C, will be short. They will not be very long. And there can be choices of 3 to 5 sentences, or usually it is in the form of word. Let's look at example. For example, the next event at the hotel will be a trade fair, wedding party. So these three options that are given are basically just one word or two words, very short. So it is not very much to read in these ones. But further in section 3, you will see you will get longer MCQs, and I will tell you the strategies for that as well when we'll be there. Now, I have a power formula to understand and handle these MCQs. And the power formula is read the question and underline the keyword of the question. For example, here, the next event at the hotel will be so the event will be where it will be. So that is the keyword here. And then you cross out all the options. Do not see the options the way I have crossed out. Just cross it out, or maybe you can put your fingers there. Do not read. I do not want you to go for multiple reading of multiple choices, because you are conditioning your brain with all the choices that are given. So keep your brain clean. Just look at the keyword, and the next event at the hotel will be a trade fair or wedding or a party. Just keep your mind on that what next event is going to be. Do not condition your brain with three options that are given. And then what do you do then? You create a fill in the blank and fill it as you listen. So I have created a fill in the blank here. I will be listening, and I will just write down here. So this is also called as note taking. So I noted down here what the next event is going to be without reading all these three options. And the power tip is continue to listen, continue to listen. Do not have butterflies in your stomach that where is my answer? When will the answer come? I'm waiting for the answer. Did I miss my answer? No, continue to listen. Don't wait for the answer. Wait for the key information that you are looking for. This is where students lose their patience. It is a monologue. It will be longer and only one person speaking. So continue to listen. You will get your answer there.